Hey everyone, we are here for the Rising Sun Rundown. We're going to be going over the Stardom 55 Grand Prix 2023 tournament, all the rundown, all the information you need to know in a few moments. So be right back.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet.
#1 wrestling show on the planet. Welcome to the Rising Sun Rundown. This is our first episode. For those of you who typically watch the Women's Wrestling Army show, I don't want to say we're discontinuing it, but we're taking a little break from it for a little while we figure out, where the new episodes, when the new episodes are going to come out. But have no fear. Once we get those new episodes, trust me, Women's Wrestling Talk will have your back with coverage. But for right now, we are launching this new show called The Rising Sun Rundown to talk about Joshi wrestling and Puro wrestling, Japanese wrestling, which has exploded since, I would say this year, with them coming out of the pandemic, as well as doing a lot of stuff stateside. New Japan has recently created a new women's division of their own. So there's tons to talk about. And we at Women's Wrestling Talk, we always have you covered on everything going on in wrestling. So we decided to come up with this show. So today we're going to be talking about the upcoming 5-star Grand Prix from Stardom. We're going to give some tournament updates of the things going on in TJPW and New Japan right now. But we don't assume that you all know what's going on. I think that this might be everybody's first 5-star Grand Prix going on in Stardom. So we're doing a lot of introductions. So don't feel bad if you're a beginner. We're going to tell you everything that you need to know heading in. So let's get into it. Shay, are you excited?
I'm very excited because this is my first and I'm starting to delve into, that. I've had people send me, links to watch matches and stuff like that. But I've never really delved completely into it. So I'm excited for this. And yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, I will say, I don't want to say it's difficult to get into, but of course, sometimes there's the language barriers and too. So it's always helps to have somebody walk you through it. I recently only just got into Stardom at the end of December of last year. So yeah, I think that this is going to be a fun time. Lots of great wrestling going on. And without any further ado, let's go ahead. One more thing. Aisha, so she is on a brief hiatus, has some work stuff going on, but she will be back. So don't fear. Aisha will be here for all of you who love seeing her lovely face, because I know I miss seeing her lovely face. So don't fear. She will be doing this show with us regularly. So that's going to be very fun. But let's move on to the factions. So Stardom is actually called World Wonder Ring Stardom. I don't know why they have that long title, but they do. They've been around for 10 years now, and currently they are the #2 wrestling promotion in Japan, which is a really big deal for a fairly young promotion. Not #2 women's promotion, #2 promotion, period. They are owned by Bushiroad, which also owns New Japan Pro Wrestling. So that is their brother organization. Stardom has a lot of different types of stars, but currently they have 7 stables. So #1, you have stars. These are the fun girls. They're really happy to be here. Really baby faces through and through. You have God's Eye. They're a little edgy. They're headed by, I should probably say they're leaders. So you have stars. They're headed by Mayu Iwatani, who is currently, we'll talk about her later. God's Eye, they're headed by Syuri, who will also speak about. Syuri is a former World of Stardom champion, and most recently, she was voted as the #1 women's wrestler in the world by Pro Wrestling Illustrated. You have Donna Del Mondo. This is the stable that is headed by Julia. They win a lot and currently hold some gold. We'll get to them. We have Queen's Quest, which is headed by Utami Hayashishita, who has been on a great tour of the U.S. in recent weeks, hitting GCW, JCW, as well as Ring of Honor. This stable also includes AZM, actually Azumi, that's how you say her name. She faced Mercedes Moné, for anybody who remembers that match at Sakura Genesis. We have Club Venus, which is the newest stable to Stardom. This is led by Mina Shirakawa, and it is an international stable. So a lot of people in this stable are bilingual, can speak both Japanese and English. A lot of foreigners are in this stable as well. We have Odio Tai. This is your heel stable. They do whatever they want. These are the bad girls of Stardom. They like to cause a lot of trouble and chaos. And lastly, you have Cosmic Angels. So this is led by the world champion, the World of Stardom champion, Tam Nakano. They always have some drama going on. I'm going to be honest. Like, the turnover rate in Cosmic Angels this year has been very, very, very messy, nasty business. But it's been so much fun to watch. So those are the stables. Basically, just about almost everybody is in one. Just remember this when we go later into the actual breakdown of the 5-star Grand Prix. Any questions, Shay, so far?
Yeah, you know what? I was right. You saw me. I'm over here like with I'm like, I write this down. Okay. Okay. The fun girls. All right. Yeah.
And I will say there's some great guides, great Stardom guides, and I'll probably link them later on in this presentation, so you don't have to worry about writing everything down, because there have been some incredible fans who have actually written down all of this stuff, so you don't have to, and did great preview guides. I think I sent some of them to you, but I'll be definitely re-sharing them on my Twitter over the weekend for everybody to be able to and go view them on their own time, because there's some people who put a lot of great hard work into this stuff. So, you can keep it. Oh, it's like if Cosmic Angels have no drama, something is up. No, absolutely. Like, that's exactly it. Like, when things are too quiet amongst Cosmic Angels, something is wrong. Like, they always have some drama. Specifically, it's a lot of fun. So next we have the champions. So Stardom has a lot of belts. I will say most of their belts look the same. They're in the shape of a star. So sometimes they can be hard to distinguish. So we're going to walk through them right now. So walk with me in the first picture. We have Tam Nakano. So this is the red belt champion. So a lot of times the Stardom belts are referred to by colors. So if you hear people say red belt, know that they're referring to the Wonder of Stardom championship. This is the highest championship that you can win in Stardom. This belt has been held by the likes of Io Sky, aka Io Shirai. It's been held by Toni Storm. It's been held by Julia, been held by Syuri. Now it's being held by Tam Nakano, the leader of Cosmic Angels. She won this belt at All-Star Grand Queendom. A lot of people watched that show because Mercedes was on it, but this main evented the show when Tam defeated Julia to become champion. And this has been one of the biggest rivalries in Stardom, period. And so this basically was a culmination of that. Next, we have Mirai, who is the Wonder of Stardom champion. So the white belt, some people consider it to be on the same level as the red belt. The white belt, which is the Wonder of Stardom belt, has been known to main event shows on occasion. It's called the Belt of Emotion. So typically when people win this belt, it's after a long, hard uphill battle, emotional struggle. I liken it to anybody who's ever a New Japan fan, the Intercontinental Championship that they used to have. So like a very top tier belt, and probably much like the US Heavyweight Championship now, of just being able to still main event shows if the World Championship isn't at the top of the card. But the Wonder of Stardom belt is also very important. You have the IWGP Women's Championship belt. This is the one that the masses are probably most familiar with. This belt has been held by 3 people so far, 3. Starting off with Kairi, who defeated Mayu Iwatani at the end of last year at the historic crossover event between Stardom and New Japan Pro Wrestling. So this is technically a weird belt because it's owned by New Japan, but it's booked by Stardom. And then there's also the New Japan Strong Women's Championship. We're not going to get into that. That's a New Japan belt too. I don't think Stardom's booking that one though, so that's why I didn't put it here. But Julie is the champion there. Mayu Iwatani is the current IWGP champion. She won it from Mercedes at the All-Star Grand Kingdom event. But I will say she's not defended the belt yet. So she's been champion for over 100 days. The belt has not been defended once. 2 challengers have, they've challenged for it. So we have Hazuki, who from the Star stable, we're going to talk about her later. And then we have Mariah May of Club Venus, who's also, laid down a challenge, but none of those challenges have come to fruition in a match. So we shall see. We have next Saki Kashima, who was formerly of Odio Tai, who recently got kicked out. And actually she got jumped afterwards. There was a loser leaves the stable steel cage match between Odio Tai and Queen's Quest that happened. She was the last one left. Odio Tai, like I said, these are the bad girls. They do what they want. So, of course, they can't just let her leave. They got to beat her up on the way out. But she's the high-speed champion. She won the belt from Azumi, who held that championship for a very, very long time. She's currently been defending, but I will say she's kind of like that squirmy person who barely squeaks out a win, quick roll-ups and quickly runs away. It's been a very interesting time. We'll see how long she's able to hold on to that belt. Up next, we have Rose Gold, which is a tag team within Club Venus, the OGs of Club Venus, Mina Shirakawa and Mariah May. They are the current Goddesses of Stardom champions, which means they're the tag team champions. These belts have been passed around a lot, I'm going to be honest, this year. But I think that they're finally in a safe home where they're going to stay for a while. These Mina and Mariah work really well together. They've been a great team since they debuted together as Club Venus. So I think that they're going to hold on to them for a while. And third, we have the Artist of Stardom champions. So these are the trios belts. So there is a pink one, there's a blue one, and then there's an orange one. But they are all the Artist of Stardom championship belts. Currently, they're held by 3 members of the Donna Del Mondo faction, Julia, Thekla, and Mai Sakurai. That is shocking that Mayu hasn't defended at all. I wonder if Stardom is in a weird place because they don't want to do anything until Mercedes returns. Actually, so the thing is, Mercedes is going to 9 times out of 10 challenge for that New Japan Strong belt next. So I actually have no idea why they haven't run a match for the IWGP belt, because that really doesn't make any sense. I think there's also the big thing with the belts in Stardom, because they originally, created the IWGP belt to be defended on New Japan shows, but obviously Stardom books it, and Stardom doesn't like to let their talent go anywhere sometimes, so that's been difficult. So I think then they made the New Japan Strong belt and put it, that belt was supposed to be defended primarily stateside, but then they put it on Julia, who works for Stardom. It's a lot going on. So I don't know. I really don't know what they're going to do with the IWGP belt. I hope that they let Mayu defend it very soon, hopefully during the G1 finals. I think that would be great. I think both of the challengers who have laid down a challenge are great. Both Hazuki and Mariah are awesome. So that's Julia's second belt. Well, technically her first, because she won that one first. So you have the Artist of Stardom champions. Like I said, they're from Donna Del Mondo. And lastly, we have the Future of Stardom Championship. So this one has a very specific rule. So I think you can could have only been wrestling for, I think, 2 or less years, or you have to be under 20 years old. So that's also another thing about Stardom. Expect to see a lot of young people. There's teenagers wrestling. A lot of Joshi wrestlers, they start super early. But this is Hina. She also has this is Rena. She has a twin sister who also wrestles in Stardom. Her name is Hina. It's a lot. It's a lot. They look alike too, but like they're like two different sides of the same coin. Like one's a heel, one's a face. It's a lot. But the future of Stardom belt looks a lot like the white belt, like the Wonder of Stardom Championship, but it's a little bit smaller. And also, you notice that whenever these people like they win their championships, they get a trophy too. It's actually really sweet. Like they get like a big trophy. So those are the champions. So we're going to move into the 5-star Grand Prix. So the 5-star Grand Prix is the tournament. It's a round robin tournament. It's 20 people split into 2 blocks. So you have your red stars and then you have your blue stars. This is a lot like the G1 Climax tournament held in New Japan, which is going on right now, by the way. And so basically everybody in the red stars will face each other. And so they will, for a win, you get 2 points. For a loss, you get 0 points. And for a draw, you get 1 point. And whoever finishes at the top of their block will go on to the final against the winner of the opposite block. And then whoever wins the tournament is able to challenge at the end of December show in Stardom, which is typically Dream Queendom, for a title of their choosing. Typically, people pick the World of Stardom Championship, but there have been a few instances where people have chosen a different championship. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if this year somebody chose the IWGP belt, possibly, and maybe challenge for Wrestle Kingdom. Who knows? Like, who knows? That'll probably never happen. But, there's a couple options here. 9 times out of 10, it'd either be that belt, the red belt, or the white belt. Who knows? Any questions so far?
Okay, so you said the reds will face each other and the blues will face each other. So what are the top 2 people you're kind of rooting for within both colors?
Oh, we're going to get there. We're going to get there. I actually have my picks highlighted, but we can go through the entry players right now. We can go through the players right now. So we have Tam. Tam, because she's the incoming World of Stardom champion, she's not going to win. Period. I highly doubt she's going to win, but she's going to have some excellent matches during this tournament, of course, as a standard bearer. We have Mayu Iwatani, who is the IWGP Women's Champion, but she's also the icon of Stardom. So she's won the Grand Prix before. She's also won every single title that there is to ever win in Stardom. Anything that there's ever to do, she's done it. So she is the true icon. Is she always a legitimate player to win? Yes. But do I think she's going to win here? No. You have Saya Kamitani. She's a member of the Queen's Quest faction. Saya was the longest reigning Wonder of Stardom champion of all time. So she recently came off of a very, very, very long reign holding that belt. She lost it to Mina Shirakawa at the All-Star Grand Queendom event. And she's been kind of aimless since, like, her and Queen's Quest, they've been beefing. There was a lot going on. That's how they ended up in that loser leaves the faction stale cage match and start in the first place. It's very ghetto. But Saya's actually, she's not one of my favorites to win, but I also wouldn't be surprised if she won, just because she is a big deal. And like, it's very clear that she's gunning for like that next step. She's openly challenged Tam Nakano recently for the World of Stardom Championship. So that's also a thing too. So typically just like in like WWE or other like promotions like that, Intercontinental Championship is typically the stepping stone to the world title. So once people win that, they typically go on and get immediately into world title contention. So recently we've seen Saya challenge Tam for the World of Stardom Championship because she was such a successful Wonder of Stardom champion. Next, we have Syuri, arguably the best women's wrestler in the world. She has an MMA background, so she had a legitimate UFC career, like a Stone Cold Killer UFC career before, doing professional wrestling. And I think also while doing professional wrestling at the same time too. She is a former winner of the tournament. She's a former World of Stardom champion. She lost the championship to Julia, who was last year's tournament winner at Dream Queendom. Do I think she's going to win? No. But is she always a threat? Absolutely. There's Suzuki. I'm going to get into her later, but just know Suzu, if I'm not mistaken, is the only person in this tournament who is not a member of a faction. She's a lone wolf, and she can get away with that because that's just how good she is at professional wrestling. Next we have Starlight Kid. So Starlight Kid, I almost added her to my favorites to win the tournament, but also I just don't know what Stardom is doing with her. Obviously, if you have heard of almost no one from Stardom, you've probably heard of Starlight Kid. Oh yes, Syuri is the bee's knees. Like, period. Like, thank you for putting her stats in here. She's a legitimate fighter, and really good at what she does. But yeah, Starlight Kid, you probably heard of her just because one, she has a really cool look of just having like the mask and everything, and two, she's really amazing. Like her matches with Izumi over the last year are known as some of the best women's matches like of the past few years. Like, she is a former high speed champion and is absolutely incredible, a member of Odio Tai. I just don't know what Stardom's doing with her. Like, she is one of those people who should probably be in that contention for those big belts. I just don't know what's next for her. Wouldn't be surprised to see her, go really make a deep run in this tournament. But I just don't know if they're ready to pull the trigger on her just yet. Next we have Natsupoi. When I was talking about all the drama that's in Cosmic Angels, this is one of the people I'm 100% talking about. So her and Tam, they're best friends, but they weren't always best friends. They used to be real, real bad. Like, real bad. Real bad. And then they had a steel cage match. And then afterwards, they decided that they loved each other and that they're best friends. And Natsupoi left her old faction to join Tam's faction, which is Cosmic Angels. So now they're great. And then they formed a music group, and they released an album. They have a tag team. They're called Meltier, but then they released an album under the name Meltier. It's actually really good, by the way. It's a very great album. I actually have it saved on my Apple Music. It's in Japanese, of course, but it's actually really good. And then they used to perform songs from their album in their entrance. It's a lot. And then they're former Goddesses of Stardom champions. Very great time. But yes, Natsupoi is always involved in some drama. Currently, she has like a love-hate relationship going on with Sarai. We'll get to her in a minute. But Natsupoi is also one of the best big match wrestlers, I think, in the world today, regardless of gender. Absolutely incredible performances. Her match earlier this year when she challenged Mina Shirakawa for the Wonder of Stardom Championship is one of my favorite women's matches of the year, and I think is one of the best women's matches of the year. She is a huge big match wrestler. She shines in high pressure situations. And so, do I think she's going to win? No. But do I think she's going to go far and like have some of the best matches of the tournament? Absolutely. Next, we have Hazuki, who's one of my personal favorites. I'll get to her later, but she's a member of the Stars faction. Like I said, she was in that triple threat with Mercedes and Izumi earlier this year as Sakura Genesis. Next, we have Natsuko Tora. This is, if I'm not mistaken, the leader of the Odio Tai faction. Like I said, she do what she want. They do what they want. Nobody's going to stop them. Nobody's going to check them. And that's that on that. I don't think she's going to win, but one thing about Odio Tai, sometimes they don't even care about winning. They just want to rough you up. They just want to ruin your day. They just want to ruin your day on the outside. Like, for example, earlier this year there was like the Cinderella tournament. So that's like one of like the tournaments that they do in Stardom, where if you win, you get to actually wear a really nice, beautiful ball gown, and then you get to choose which title you're going to challenge for at a big show, like yada yada yada. But anyway, while they were doing these matches, Audio Tie, keep in mind there's like a 10-minute time limit. They show up with weapons. They just want to fight, rough everybody up. It is not even that type of party, but that's what they're doing. Next we have Ami. So if I'm not mistaken, Ami's in God's Eye. Yes, is in the God's Eye stable. She's very, very young. So she's a former Future of Stardom champion. I don't foresee her winning, but I do think she's going to make a good showing. I think she's going to eat a lot of pinfalls in this tournament, but it's a learning experience. She's still very young. She has a bright future in front of her. Any questions on the Red Stars?
Okay, so there is a lot to unpack here.
There's a lot to unpack here.
I like Nat's Boy. I like the vibe. Like, it's like Mojo Jojo coded. Like, I love it.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, I just started to see a lot of clips of Mayu Iwatani.
Yes.
And so I'm now getting very like, I like her.
She's very goofy. So like Maya is super goofy. She's the icon of Stardom. She was one of the original 3 daughters of Stardom. So there were 3 daughters who like the company was really founded upon. So it was her, it was Kairi, and it was Io Shirai. So obviously Kairi and Io eventually go off to WWE. So Mayu becomes the true ace of Stardom. She puts the company on her back. Like I said, she's won every single thing they have to do. And also the thing is, when they were originally coming up, Mayu was originally the runt of the litter. Like, so she lost all the time. She was the smallest. She was the one that was projected to basically not go anywhere because like she just was the runt of the litter. She's super goofy. They're actually making a movie about her life in Japan. So she was a recluse, didn't leave her house for like 2 years of her life. But professional wrestling is what made her finally leave. And now she's one of the best professional women's wrestlers of all time.
That just makes me like her even more. Now
she's super likable. She's super likable. She's super goofy. Like, she's always like clumsy, always tripping over things, always like running into things. Like when she comes out, she always throws like a fake baseball into like the crowd. She also like has like an extremely high pain tolerance. So it's like in her matches, a lot of times people call her like zombie Mayu because she can last. She can survive a lot. She is the queen of the neck bumps. Yeah, it makes you know, like watching a Mayu Iwatani match, it's probably gonna make your neck hurt just watching her.
My scoliosis is already acting up. I know it's
absolutely.
I feel it.
Yeah, it's that type of party. So up next we have the Blue Stars. We have Julia, who is last year's winner of the 5-star Grand Prix tournament. Julia's out for blood because, like I said, she won the World of Stardom Championship, but it was not a very long reign. Typically, she has actually the second shortest reign, I believe, of the wonder in the World of Stardom lineage. Because typically when people win that belt, they hold on to it for a very long time. So she held it from December 29th which was the Dream Queendom show, to April 23rd, which was the All-Star Grand Queendom show, which is a very pretty short amount of time for the World of Stardom belt. But Julia is also a huge star who is very intent of taking over the wrestling world. So right now she has 2 belts right now. The New Japan World Women's Championship, the New Japan Strong Women's Championship, as well as being 1/3 of the Artist of Stardom Championship. I'll get to her a little bit more later. We have Yutami Hayashishita, who is the leader of Queen's Quest. So she recently decided, after Queen's Quest got their stuff together after winning the steel cage match, during their next match, they won, and afterwards she announces to her entire faction and everybody that, yeah, I'm going to take some time off because I need to go find myself. goes off to America for a couple weeks. We've seen what she's been doing awesome. Queen's Quest has not won a match since she left, which proves that she's the secret sauce. I'll explain more about her later. Next, we have Micah. Micah is one of my personal favorites. She is strong as hell, like super strong. She dominates, and she's been on a reign of dominance for the last couple months since All-Star Grand Queendom. She is a person to watch in this tournament. She's also a member of the Donna Del Mondo stable. Next, we have another Merchant of Violence, much like Natsupoi. So sorry, I know she is actually a freelancer, so she's not signed to Stardom, but she is a part of the Cosmic Angels faction. Her and Natsupoi go way back to like their history and other promotions. It's a lot. They've been going through it. But they recently had an Indian strap match that happened. It was a match. Whatever. But they've decided to like let bygones be bygones for now, but they always beefing about something. She is a person to watch. Do I think that she's going to win? No, but I only think that she's not going to win is because she's not signed to Stardom. So I highly doubt they'll let somebody who's not like a full-time member like win the tournament. But she is one of the best wrestlers in the world, period. And she's definitely somebody to watch. She has absolutely dazzled in all of her performance. It's like almost watching violent ballet. I think that's how I would describe her. Next, there's Momo Watanabe. Momo is always the bridesmaid and never the bride. She had a great World Wonder of Stardom championship run, has not really been a single star since. However, she is absolutely incredible. Like for me personally, if I had to pick who would win the World of Stardom championship next, it would be Momo. She is an incredible wrestler. She's a member of Odio Tai. She does what she wants. She's mean. She's aggressive. Fantastic wrestler. Next, we have Mirai, the current Wonder of Stardom champion. I don't think that Mirai is going to win simply because one, she just won the white belt. Two, she already defeated Tam Nakano to win the Wonder of Stardom belt, and you're not going to beat Tam twice. Period. That's just not going to happen. I just don't foresee her. Tam has just been on a whole other level lately to the point to where like I genuinely don't see anyone like truly dethroning her, and I don't see anybody like that she's already like beat up or gotten beat by before, like really being the one to like. I think it just has to be a new face. Mirai is also a part of the God's Eye stable. Next we have Azumi, who just had a historic high speed championship reign. Like I said, she lost to Saki. But I do think that she's going to have a deep run in this tournament. She is a young prodigy who's typically the best young prodigy in the Stardom, but with the inclusion of Suzuki, I think that that's changed in a bit. Like these two are probably going to be the two women's wrestlers who, like, no joke, who, when it's all said and done, might go down as the greatest of all time. Azumi is 20 years old, and Suzu is also 20 years old. 20. They're both of them are 20 and are easily two of the best in the world. Easily.
That's insane. Oh my god.
Absolutely insane. So yeah, Azumi is a part of Queen's Quest. We shall see. I would love to see her make a deep run in this tournament. Like, she's absolutely incredible. I just don't think it's her year just because of like how packed this field is and how there's just so many other people with more momentum heading into the tournament. Next, we have Mina Shirakawa. Mina also has a pretty, like, I would say, a decent claim to being able to win this. She has a chip on her shoulder. So like I said, Mina finished her story at All-Star Grand Queendom. So essentially what had happened was a couple months before that, she was injured in a World Wonder of Stardom championship match versus Saya Kamitani. Her jaw was broken. And she literally was out on the shelf for a while. Like she had one, actually her backstage comments got me into Stardom because I remember she was crying. It was like, what more do I have to do? Like, and it was just so emotional and it was so heartfelt. And I was like, who is this girl? Like, I want to root for her. She returns on December 29th at Dream Queendom with a new look, a new group of foreigners, Mariah May and Zaya Brookside, and a new attitude. And she makes it very clear that she's a leader now and she wants to basically take everything. So her eventually winning that Wonder of Stardom belt when she did versus Saya, who originally injured her, that was her finishing her story. We think that she's about to go on a run of a lifetime. It's going to be beautiful, amazing, excellent. And she loses it within like 2 months to Tam Nakano, her former leader, because she used to be in Cosmic Angels. And then she decides to create her own unit. Then she loses it to Tam, who was her former leader. She's had a chip on her shoulder ever since. Yes, did she win the tag belts? Yes. But she still has a chip on her shoulder. So I could see her possibly making a deep run in this tournament. And also, Mina's been one of the best wrestlers of the year, period. Like, she's been on an insane singles run. Mariah May, if I'm not mistaken, Mariah is the only foreigner in this tournament. She's worked extremely hard to get here. One of the only foreigners in Stardom. She's currently like the foreign ace. This is her first time in the 5-star Grand Prix. Do I think that she's going to win? No. Just because, like, she has had almost no singles matches since she's been in Stardom. From basically the beginning of the year, she's been mostly in tag teams. So this is going to be her first time, like, really, like, being able to wrestle everybody in singles competition. However, I do think that she's going to be a force in this tournament, and I think she's going to prove a lot of people wrong just because she's been doing that all year. And then there's Hanan, member of the Stars faction. I think, is this her first time too? I'm not sure. I think so. She's going to do good. She's not going to win. She's gonna have a good time though. Amen. So the show kicks off on July 23rd. Woo woo. Oh yes, I also love Mariah May. I recently got to interview her. She's absolutely incredible. Not just in the ring, but she has a great mind for wrestling. And she genuinely cares about women's wrestling, advancing it in all forms. And I think she's absolutely brilliant. And I'm so excited for her future. She's incredible. She has a very long and great career ahead of her. So these are the opening matches for July 23rd. At 4 a.m. if you all plan on staying up. But if you don't, do not worry. We will have, not we, but Stardom World, the subscription service, will like be posting matches like soon after. It is about $8.55 in US dollars a month. I recommend getting it. Is the service. I will say earlier this summer, there were some problems. They were uploading things super delayed. I was very upset about it, but they've gotten a lot better. They've been doing things, on the up and narrow, they've been doing it pretty well. So I feel more comfortable telling people to actually subscribe again. So these are going to be some crazy matchups to start off with. And I'm not doing all the matchups in the tournament. I'm just doing night one because obviously we're going to be doing this show every week now. So, cry. I don't know. But we have some great matches. So, for example, Tam Nakano versus Saya Kamitani is huge. Like I said, Saya wants that red belt from Tam. So, even if she doesn't win the 5-star Grand Prix, if you pin the champion, you're basically entitled to a title match down the line. So this is going to be huge. You have one of the most iconic Wonder of Stardom champions of all time versus another one of the former iconic Wonder of Stardom champions of all time, but also the current World of Stardom champion. You have Julia versus Syuri. Now, I think this match is going to be very, 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 very violent. just very violent. These two people are very violent, and it's going to be very violent. What else is going to be a good match on in here? Oh, Utami Hayashida versus Mina Shirakawa. They've been arguing on Twitter all day long for the last 2 days. Like, they've been arguing. I wasn't originally excited for this match, but now I am, because they've been arguing real bad on Twitter. Like, Mina's like, where you been? Like, you in America, like you not even here. I wish I was in America, and you ain't got no belts. Well, Utami said, like, you hating from outside of the club because you can't in. You wish you was in America right now, and I don't need no belts, and that's why you need your belt to feel important right now, and that's why I'm gonna beat you, and da-da-da-da. It's been a lot going on. The girlies are fighting. And also, I appreciate y'all for tweeting in English, so I don't have to like translate it. They've been tweeting in English too, so I really do appreciate that. Natsupoi versus Starlight Kid is going to be good. Not really a story there, though. What else is going to be really great? Oh, Mayu Iwatani versus Hazuki. So these two are stablemates. They're both in the Stars faction. However, Hazuki has made it clear that she wants a shot at the IWGP Women's Championship. Like I said earlier with like Tam and Saya, if you pin the champion, even if you don't win the tournament, you're going to be entitled to a match down the line. So that's going to be really important. And next, who would you guys like to see wrestle against Julia for the New Japan Strong Women's Championship? I'm gonna be honest. I don't want to see anybody in Stardom wrestle for it. I want to see somebody from probably either Impact or AEW wrestle for it, just because I want that belt to stay on American soil and the IWGP belt to stay on Japanese soil. Who?
Diana. Diana Peraza.
Who?
Diana.
Ooh, Deonna Purrazzo. I think that would be good. You know, Deonna actually had a run in Stardom, so I think that would be great. I also think Jamie Hayter, when she comes back from injury, would be great. Her or Toni Storm. I know that Toni is on has the AEW belt, but like after she like drops it, eventually when she drops it, she would be great too. She's a former World of Stardom champion as well. Jamie Hayter was also a former SWA champion in Stardom and a Goddess of Stardom champion as well. So that's what I want to see. Mommy. Now y'all know good and well that girl is not built for these hard hits. These hard hits from Stardom. Let's be real. Anywho, and the other standout match that I think there's on here for night one is going to be Syuri versus Suzuki. These are stone cold killers. Ain't no way around it. I think that this match would be absolutely excellent. I don't know who will win it. I'm gonna be honest. Like, all of these matches, for the most part, are so well matched in talent that I have no idea who's going to win, but I'm going to have a great time watching. But before we get into my picks for who I think are going to win, and also like the other recap, we're going to go take a commercial because I think we're long overdue for a commercial.
Hey peeps, TK Trinidad here, boss lady of Women's Wrestling Talk. And I want to say thank you so much for watching, because you've got millions of options. Plus, you don't have to worry about sharing your password to check us out. But while you're here, hopefully you know we have so many more shows to watch, like Turnbuckle Glam, Raw post-show, WoW post-show, AEW Dynamite post-show, Women's Wrestling Army post-show, NXT post-show, Impact Wrestling post-show, AEW Rampage and SmackDown Live post-show, On the Scroll, ROH post-show, WWT Live, plus all of our interviews with the hottest women's wrestlers in the game. Make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe. Check out our website at www.talkpod.com and follow us on all social media platforms at www.talkpod, and make sure to spread the word. That means send this to the group chat. Yes, even the person with the green bubble. Thanks again so much for watching Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet. Ciao for now.
The #1 women's wrestling show on the planet. Julia versus Trish Adora. I would love to see that match. So currently Trish Adora is in the New Japan academy, and the dojo in she's in the dojo in LA, New Japan's dojo. So I can easily see them grooming her to be a part of that New Japan women's division. So hey, objects in the mirror are closer than they appear. Just I think I've tweeted that before. I believe that Trish Adora will be challenging for that New Japan strong women's championship by the end of the year, and I'm very excited and hopeful that that's going to happen. So let's get into these picks. So I actually wrote an article. I'm not sure if it's actually out yet, but if it's not out right now, it'll be out tomorrow, about 4 people that I think have a great chance to win the 5-star Grand Prix, and one that probably won't win, but is going to steal the show anyway. So number 1, Hazuki. I love Hazuki. She is called the Wild Heart for a reason. A lot of people, like, the reason why a lot of people love Joshi wrestling is because, like, it's so emotional. You feel like people are literally, these women are fighting with their lives. Like, they will literally die if they don't win. Like, it's just very passionate. And Hazuki, like, epitomizes that passion. She just, like, she's so sweet and, like, innocent. And then when that bell rings, she just turns into, like, a completely different person. And she's just so passionate in the ring, and you can just feel it. Like, her match versus Saya earlier this year, like, she lost, and everybody was just like, oh yeah, she should have won, because she was the star. Like, she has these big match performances, but she always tends to come up short, like right when it counts. So she's missing that big signature win, and I believe that it needs to come for her this year in some way, some form of fashion. I want her to either win that white belt, the Wonder Star Championship, or the IWGP belt. I think she would be absolutely excellent. And yes, I think, like, she's been one of those people who's been on the cusp for a very long time of that one big win. And I think, like, this year might be her year. Next, we have Iwatani. So she was the former, I would say, big prodigy of Stardom. Like, she was pushed to the moon, like, after barely out of her teen years, pushed to the moon. She won, like, every single championship they had, including, like, the World Championship. She won the 5-star Grand Prix, like, everything. But she was great, but she was nowhere near as great as she is right now. So now, like, I feel like she has more experience. She's gotten her mind right. She's going on this big excursion in America, got some real wins. It's very clear that the Red Queen of old is back, and she wants the throne, period. And if anybody, so I will say, no woman has ever won the 5-star Grand Prix twice. But if there ever was one to do it, Iwatani is one of them. But there's also another woman, if there was ever one to do it twice. There's also one who makes a very strong case, and that's Julia. Julia won last year. If there was ever somebody who can go back to back, it would be Julia. She is on the run of a lifetime. Like I said, she's made it very clear that she doesn't just want to rule Stardom. She doesn't just want to rule Japan. She wants to rule the wrestling world. And she has the tools to do so. Like, she's an absolutely captivating professional wrestler. Like, when you watch her matches, it feels like you get sucked into her world. Like, she is obviously beautiful, but she is extremely technically sound, like I said, and she knows how to get violent. Like, she's so enthralling to watch, and I think she's going to make a very deep run in this tournament, even if she doesn't win. So she's one of my picks. Next, we have Maika. I love Maika. Like, I will say my biggest, and for you who watch, like, the Women's Wrestling Army show, I think I've said this, like, my favorite trope is, like, house fights in women's wrestling. Like, I love strong, big, meaty women slapping meat. Like, yes, like, my dream match is Maika versus Willow Nightingale. Like, just because, like, I love feats of strength in women's wrestling. We don't get to see them a lot, but when we do, like, I'm just like, yes. So Maika was typically a tag team wrestler in Donna Del Mondo. So she had a partner named Himika, who was also her best friend. And they were a tag team called Mayhem. And they were super great. And the thing is, Himika this year announced that she was going to retire at age 25. Just because she was just like, I had a good run. I just want to stop while I'm having fun. Deuces. So She retires. Her last Stardom match was All-Star Grand Queendom on April 23rd. Who did she choose for her opponent? Micah, her best friend. Micah has the unfortunate honor of having to pin her best friend. You can it's a very emotional match. Like, I recommend watching it if you haven't. It was really good. Like, in the final seconds, you literally see her begging Himaka to kick out. She doesn't. It was really heart-wrenching, but beautiful at the same time. But anyway, nobody really knew what was next for Micah after that. Like I said, she's been a tag team wrestler. But after that, she goes on this rampage, dominating absolutely everyone. And is finally becoming that big star that a lot of people thought she could be. Currently, Stardom has this big generational struggle going on right now. So you have like some of the old guard versus some of this new guard. Micah, as well as Suzu and Iwatani have been a part of that on the new guard side. Julia's been on the opposite side. So it's been interesting to see her as one of those leaders of the new school. And her as a part, and so in doing so, she's been kind of like distancing herself from the Donna Del Mondo stable, which might work in her favor because she's going to have to face Julia and that in her block. So that match is going to be very dramatic when it happens. So she's one of my favorites. Last person, Suzu Suzuki. So I don't think that Suzu is going to win this year, but I wouldn't, if she does, like, I do believe she will win at some point. It's only a matter of when, not if. She's 20 years old and one of the best professional wrestlers in the world. She is a prodigy. She's absolutely incredible. This is her second time competing in the 5-star Grand Prix. However, this is her first time as a full member of the Stardom roster. So last year she was just a freelancer in the stable called Prominence. She is hardcore. So like she used to do death matches on a regular basis. That's what she was doing in Prominence. Like, but she's also one of those who's made it clear that she wants to be the face of the professional women's wrestling world. She has history with a lot of folks in this tournament, specifically Julia, who she was an ice ribbon with. But like Suzu's, it's scary how good she is, and she's only 20. But I think that she's going to be one of the wrestlers. She's going to absolutely steal the show in this tournament. I like to see. I can't. I don't know if I want to see Zaya again in Stardom, but you know what? Hey, a lot of people, just come to Stardom to get better. So, amen for improvement and growth. Amen. But so these are my picks for 5-star Grand Prix. This tournament is going to go a while. I don't think it actually ends until September. So it's not structured like the G1 to where like it's like every night it's like all 5-star Grand Prix matches. Like you'll have some night, some night, and then they'll have like other like Stardom events like sprinkled in between. So it's very interesting how it's set up like on a night to night basis. But yeah, this is my Stardom overview. Shay, any questions, any thoughts, any comments?
Can I just say, for everyone watching, can we give a round of applause for this? Like, this was fantastic. The slides, just the way you broke everything down. Like, I have to give the claps. Like, honestly, if I had flowers, I would give them to you.
Thank you.
I have to mail them to you, and maybe they would die in the process, but that's neither here nor there. That was fantastic. No, I love this, and I'm so glad I get to be a part of this with you because I just want to feed off of your knowledge of this because for me, this is new. Like, diving into this and just like, this is very cool. Like, I loved it. And you've made me be like, so I saw Julia and I was like, oh, something about you. Like, I'm really feeling the whole, like, everything. And then I seen some clips where I was like, okay, yeah, I love I love what she's giving. So right now it's seeming like I really, really want her to win. I don't care if back to back, whatever. Whatever, I don't care. But yeah, no, I just love this, and I'm excited to just go on this journey, like being someone who's like a viewer, someone who isn't as familiar, and just I'm learning with you. Like, well, you the way will be, but I'm learning and you're helping, and I think this is really cool, and I think it's fun to have two different mindsets for this.
No, absolutely. And like I'm still learning in a lot of ways too. Like this is my first time ever watching the tournament live. Like last year, like I watched a lot of matches back, but this is my first time like actually following it in real time. So thank you. I'm glad everybody is liking the inclusion of Joshi Wrestling. It's absolutely exploding, y'all. Like I know there's been a lot of rumors about a new US based Joshi promotion getting launched in New York. It's backed by the legendary Bull Nakano. So it's everywhere. Like I feel like it's a little bit everywhere. Leave me alone. Who's calling me? Anyway, but it's everywhere. So it's super exciting stuff. I'm so really glad that people are liking it. Moving on to more, I'm not going to go deep into this, but currently Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling is having a tournament of their own. It's called the Tokyo Princess Cup. So they've just recently ended their round one. So just giving you like the highlights, we had Yuki Kamifuku defeated Nao Kakuta. Miyu Watanabe versus defeated Yuki Aino. Shoko Nakajima, who will be making her debut in the US very soon, super exciting, defeated Suzumi. Rika Tatsumi defeated Raku. Moka Miyamoto defeated Hyper Misao. And Miyu Yamashita defeated Mizuki. So that is the most important thing, I will say. That last match that I mentioned is probably the most. So if you look in your upper left corner, that's the Miyu Yamashita Mizuki. So Mizuki is currently the Princess of Princess Championship, the champion, which is the highest championship in TJPW. Miyu Yamashita has formerly held that belt. A lot of people know Miyu Yamashita. She's made appearances in AEW. She's made appearances in Ring of Honor, but she's never won this tournament. So she is a favorite to win. I mean, and she already slayed the dragon of the world champion. So she has a pretty good chance of going into this as a winner. But also on the other side of the bracket, there's Miyu Watanabe, who is absolutely excellent. Like, absolutely excellent. I don't watch TJPW as much, but I've recently been trying to like get into it more. And I watched the match they had a big show called Summer Sun Princess about a week and a half ago, which was really good. I recommend that people watch it. It's on Wrestle Universe. But Miyu Watanabe is probably going to be that next ace of TJPW who rises, because I will say, like, the most recognizable stars are Miyu Yamashita as well as Maki Ito. But they are doing a lot of tours in the US all the time. Like they're constantly traveling here. And so she's been mostly still based in the US and in Japan, and she's absolutely incredible. So I recommend, if you haven't seen that show, definitely go watch like the Summer Sun Princess show. But yes, I will definitely be sharing updates from the Tokyo Princess Cup tournament. The winner will go on to challenge for the championship at their biggest show of the year. And last but not least, there's men's business. Okay? There's men's business. New Japan Pro Wrestling is doing the G1 Climax. I'm not going to go too deep into it here because the field is still so wide. This is only half the page. I can't even show half the other half of the page because it's a lot. But night one, Yoshihashi defeated El Phantasmo. Chase Owens defeated Gabe Kidd. Don't know how that happened. Tangaloa defeated Kenta. Shota Umino and Ren Narita went to a draw. Kazuchika Okada defeated the Great Okan. Kaito Kiyomiya from Pro Wrestling Noah defeated Yota Tsuji. Taichi defeated Will Ospreay, and Sonata defeated Hikuleo. The next night, on the opposite side, David Finlay defeated Tomohiro Ishii. Hiroki Goto defeated Toru Yano. Mikey Nichols defeated Hanare. Shane Hayes defeated Alex Coughlin. Who's that? Eddie Kingston defeated Shingo Takagi. Zack Sabre Jr. defeated Hiroshi Tanahashi. Evil defeated Tama Tonga. Don't know how that happened. Jeff Cobb defeated Tetsuya Naito. Night 3, Kaito. Who was calling me? Like, I'm not even
that popular. Like,
I'm almost positive it's my brother. It's fine. We had Kaito Kiyomiya defeated Chase Owens. Kenta defeated Great Khan. Gabe Kidd defeated Hikuleo. Who's that? Taichi. That's Taichi, right? Yeah, Taichi defeated Tangaloa. Yoda Tsuji and Shota Umino. No, Yoda Tsuji and Ren Narita went to a draw. Will Ospreay defeated Yoshihashi. Sanada defeated Shota Umino, and Kazuchika Okada defeated El Phantasmo. And then for night 4, Zack Sabre Jr. defeated Toriano. David Finlay defeated Mikey Nichols. Jeff Cobb defeated Alex Coughlin. Evil defeated Eddie Kingston. Jesus Christ, I don't know how that happened. Hiroshi Tanahashi defeated Shane Haste. Who was that? Hanare defeated Shingo Takagi. Tetsuya Naito defeated Hiroki Goto. And what's that? Oh, Tama Tonga defeated Tomohiro Ishii. I will be honest. All of these matches are not worth your time. But the ones that are, I'm going to tell you. So if you want to write them down, write them down. Shota Umino versus Ren Narita is worth your time. Yoda Tsuji versus Kaito Kiyomiya is worth your time. Taichi versus Will Ospreay, worth your time. Kazuchika Okada versus El Phantasmo is worth your time. Yoda Tsuji versus Ren Narita is worth your time. Yep, that's it for that side. David Finlay versus Tomohiro Ishii, worth your time. Mikey Nichols versus Hanare, also worth your time. Shingo Takagi versus Eddie Kingston, one of the best matches of the tournament, easily. Let's see, what else? Hiroshi Tanahashi versus Shane Haste, also a great match. The best match of the tournament so far, Hanare versus Shingo Takagi. We see Shingo is he's a, common denominator here. So coming out of all this, Kaito Kiyomiya is leading in A block. Who's leading in B block? Oh, Okada's leading in B block. Duh. C block is being led currently by David Finlay. And if I'm not mistaken, D block is being led by Zack Sabre Jr. So still super early in this tournament. I'm not going to go deep into like the breakdown of the tournament right now, just because we've already spent a lot of time because we had to do the intro to Stardom. But in future episodes, I promise I'll keep up with the G1 a lot more, but just because it's a lot more fast paced, so there's always stuff to talk about. Any G1 things? G1 things.
David Finlay is winning me over. That's all I have to
say. He has won me over as well. I'm down bad for David Finlay. I don't know, y'all. I can't stand for the slander anymore. I can't. They're my dogs for real. I had to add the song on Apple Music because it was just stuck in my head. You know that Michelle Obama meme? Yeah.
No. I don't know when it happened. I was like I woke up in a cold sweat one day and I was like, whoa.
It happened when he stopped dyeing his beard so dark and he stopped wearing those shoulder pads. That's when it happened. Like, because I felt like he was looking too much like Jay White, but now he looks like himself.
You know what?
Yeah.
Because we love authenticity and,
Absolutely. So, like, I feel like that's what happened. But yes, I'm a David Finlay. I'm a Bullet Club War Dog stan, Bullet Club Gold stan, all the Bullet Clubs at this point. Like, yeah. I don't know, Guns Up, all that. Like, so yeah. So that's where we are. Thank you all for joining us. Any thoughts? Any final thoughts, Shay?
I don't know. I'm just like excited to embark on this. Like, oh my gosh, this is so fun. I feel like this is like a rush. Like I had like a rush, like just like the stories and how you broke everything down. Like, yeah, I'm excited. Yay. I feel so much better. Like I already told you, I was like about this whole day, and like this whole like the way you went about it, the debrief, like is perfection, honestly. Like you are just another applause for you, honestly.
Oh, thank you. So I'm having the banner go across. So you're probably wondering, how do I watch all this stuff? So the G1 Climax is available on newjapanworld.com. That subscription, I think, is how many monies is it? Like $9 or some dollars. It's 100% worth it. I will say I'm subscribed to all these things, but it's worth it for those of you who want to keep up with the tournament. The first couple matches were available for free, so you can find them on YouTube. So if you just want to try it, see how it was, and then decide if you're going to subscribe. Wrestle Universe is one of my favorite wrestling streaming services because you can get multiple promotions all for like $6. You can get DDT, TJPW, Pro Wrestling Noah, and I think Ganbear Pro. So it's a really great deal. So if you want to keep up with the TJPW stuff, you can go to Wrestle Universe. And Stardom World, like I said, is about $8.55 a month, and that has all the Stardom content. They don't really stream things live. So for example, the July 23rd show is going to be available on pay-per-view, but that information will be released by Stardom soon. I would say follow their English Twitter account. It's at we_r_Stardom. And so they'll release more information about that. But the Stardom World streaming will have them uploaded typically within 1 to 3 days. And I think honestly, because the 5-star Grand Prix, obviously people know that we need to keep up with the tournament. They need to be out fast. I hope that it's going to be out on time. So I'm going to have the scrolling here. Like I said, I'm going to be retweeting a whole bunch of guides and stuff for you to get acclimated. Shout out to Scotty Wrestling, Ben Harris, who else? Wrestle Purist, Voice of Wrestling, Wrestle In. A lot of people have done some great work as far as, getting everybody prepared for the tournament. So super exciting, guys. Shay, are you there? Okay, I think that we're experiencing the technical difficulties, but that's okay. We're already at the end of the show. Oh, you're back.
Sorry, technical difficulties.
But yeah, thank you for joining us for our first ever Rising Sun rundown. Like I said, Aisha will be back very soon. We're so excited to add her to the mix, and also these episodes won't always be as long. We just had a lot to cover, a lot of prelims. To cover. So yeah, thank you, and let's head out.
All right. Yes. And where can we find you also before I pop out?
Oh yeah, at Lyric Wrestling on Twitter.
All right, guys.
Bye! Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet. Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet.